Pure Bond, Chapter 11, Targeted, Part 2, The Rescue. A few hours ago, Jack and Sarah were having an ordinary day as usual, going to school, hanging out with their friends, and completing their assignments. But after they had left the CMA Academy, their ordinary day had turned into a nightmare. Jack was taking Sarah to his house to meet his family for the first time. But then, the couple was confronted by kidnappers with the objective to capture Sarah. He told her to leave the premises and inform her father of the situation. But unfortunately, the kidnappers were able to capture their target, and Jack was severely beaten afterwards, and the kidnappers escaped, with Sarah with them. Jack lost consciousness since then due to the serious injuries he suffered during his fight. Sarah's father, Chester, found him lying on the ground when he arrived, so he carried him back with him to the Morgan mansion. The kidnappers then told Sarah that they were taking her to their boss, Reginald Edward, but what he has in store for her remains a mystery to her. Hours later, after Sarah's abduction, Jack was starting to regain consciousness, but he has no idea where he is.
Where am I?
Jack? Hey everyone, he's waking up!
Jack fully opened his eyes and woke up in the medical room, where he saw all of his friends and Sarah's father all standing near him.
Mr. Morgan? Wait, how did I get here? Where am I?
I found you lying on the ground when I arrived at the scene, but I made it too late. I only saw you there. Right now you're back in our mansion. This is our medical room.
Oh, I see. Thanks, Mr. Morgan. I appreciate the help.
Are you feeling better, Jack?
You really had us all worried there. Don't worry about me, guys. I'll be fine. But I'm more worried about Sarah. I did everything I could, but I still wasn't able to protect her. It's my fault that she's been kidnapped.
Mr. Morgan told us everything that happened when you two were in trouble. I'm sorry, Jack.
It's okay. You did what you could to protect my daughter. I respect your courage and bravery. Now, you just leave the rest to me. I'll find her.
But we don't even know where they've taken her. They can be anywhere, in or out of the city.
Poor Sarah. I hope she's okay.
I hope so too.
Meanwhile, at Edward Manor, Sarah was starting to wake up after being chloroformed by her kidnappers, not knowing where she is.
Ow. Huh? Where am I?
She then wakes up and finds herself in a secluded room. She finds herself still bound and gagged, and she was struggling to escape from her bondage. She screamed, muffling.
Help! Help! Somebody! Somebody! Stay out of here! Somebody! Stay out!
Moments later, Reginald's henchmen came in to check on the prisoner.
Struggling is pointless. Get comfortable here, young lady, because you're going to help us make a lot of money when we're done with you.
One of them walked towards Sarah and was rubbing her hair softly. She started whimpering in fear. Then he removed the cloth from her mouth, and then she started gasping for air. She then said,
That's all you crooks ever want. To obtain valuable things by stealing them from others. But rest assured, you won't get anything from me and my family.
I wouldn't bet on that. And speaking of which, here comes the boss.
The henchmen then stood on each side of the door as their boss, Mr. Reginald Edward, entered the room to welcome his captured guest.
Ah, Ms. Sarah Morgan. So you're finally awake. Good. I hope you had a good rest. I'd like to welcome you to my manor.
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My apologies, Ms. Morgan. Where are my manners? Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Reginald Edward.
Reginald Edward? So then, you're the one who sent those thugs to kidnap me and attack my boyfriend, aren't you?
Guilty as charged, Ms. Morgan.
You monster! I'll never forgive you for what you did to him. But more importantly, what is it that you want from me, Reginald?
That's a simple answer, Ms. Morgan. What I want from you is your father, Chester Morgan.
My father? How do you know my father? And what is it that you want from him? Answer me, now!
Instead of giving you a straight answer, I'll give you a little backstory between me and your father, and then you'll understand what I want.
Reginald then gave Sarah a backstory of him and her father.
A long time ago, I used to be one of your father's co-workers at a local business company we used to work for. We were the closest of friends. We had each other's backs and accomplished everything together. But as time passed, our boss appreciated your father more than me. He took more credit than I have from the task that we were assigned together. He outbested me in everything we've done. Everything he did, I couldn't do better. But not this time. This time, I want to see your father suffer, the way he made me suffer. And now that I have you, Ms. Morgan, I can make that happen.
Sarah then retaliated.
My father is a better man than you because he takes his job seriously. He helps out others when they need it, and he puts all his focus on accomplishing his tasks. Unlike you. And your plan will fail. My father will come for me, my boyfriend will save me, and you will be sorry, Reginald. There's no way you're gonna get away with this.
Oh, don't worry, Ms. Morgan. I want your father to come, and when he does, I'll be ready. But for now, it's time to deliver your father a message.
Reginald snapped his fingers, and one of his henchmen went towards Sarah and carried her out of the room.
Hey, let me go! Let me go!
Soon, Chester, you will grovel in the palm of my hand.
Back at Sarah's mansion, Jack was still in bed recovering from his injuries. Rio was standing right there beside him and said in his thoughts,
Jack, I can't imagine seeing you in a more serious situation than this, but I know you'll make it through this and find Sarah.
Moments later, Jack got up from bed, but his friends thought otherwise.
Jack, what are you doing?
You should stay in bed. You're not fully recovered.
I told you all, I don't care what happens to me. Right now, Sarah needs me.
I know you want to save her, but you're in no position to go into another fight right now.
They're right, Jack. You'll just be putting yourself in more risk than you already have.
I know that, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. I'll do anything it takes to save her, and no mere wounds is gonna stop me from doing that.
Soon after the conversation, Mr. Rogers entered the medical room.
Oh, you're up. Pardon the intrusion, Mr. Johnson, but Mr. Morgan requires your presence.
Okay. Tell Mr. Morgan I'm on the way.
He fully got up from his medical bed and followed Mr. Rogers to Chester's office. All the others could do was watch him leave the room. While walking down the halls, he saw Sarah's mother Maria in another room, completely driven to tears after hearing about her daughter's abduction.
Sarah. Sarah.
With the situation that the family's currently dealing with, there was nothing Jack could do to comfort her, so all he could do was just keep moving forward. Moments later, he entered Chester's office and greeted him.
What can I do for you, Mr. Morgan?
You are an intelligent young man, Jack, and I'm grateful that my daughter has someone like you that really cares for her. You have my full gratitude.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. I promise I'll help you in any way I can get Sarah back.
You're welcome. I appreciate your help.
Their conversation ended there as Chester's phone rang. He picked up the phone and put it on speaker mode.
Morgan Residence, this is Chester speaking.
It's been a while, Chester.
Reginald, is that you?
Yes, it's me. How's it been, old friend?
How did you get this number? I know you didn't call me just to catch up on old times. What do you want?
I want you, Chester. You. Also, I have something very valuable of yours
that you might be interested in.
Valuable of mine? What are you talking about?
After asking that question, he then received his answer.
Father, please, help me.
That's Sarah.
Sarah, are you all right, honey? Did he hurt you?
Yes, I'm all right, Father. And what about Jack? Is he okay?
Yes, he's with me right now. Don't worry. I'm coming for you, Sarah. Just hang in there.
I know you will, Father. I know you will.
Those were the last words she said to her father. But then...
No, not again. Get the thing away from me!
Sarah!
Chester heard his daughter struggling, and she ended up being gagged again as Reginald took the phone back and continued the conversation with him.
There you have it, Chester. I've sent my henchmen out to capture your daughter. And if you want to see her in your arms again, you will deliver to me in person $10 million. And if I see even a dollar missing, then your daughter won't be around to be with you again.
Curse you, Reginald. I'll make you pay for this.
I look forward to your visit, Chester. And for your daughter's sake, you better have the ransom money. I'll be waiting for you at my manor.
Father!
Their conversation ended there as Reginald hung up the phone.
All right, it's time to take back what's mine.
I'm with you all the way, Mr. Morgan. Let's save Sarah.
I'm coming too. This time you won't be fighting alone.
Rio. Thanks, man. I appreciate the help.
Chester, Jack, and Rio were preparing to leave the mansion to save Sarah. Jack's friends were all downstairs watching them take off and wishing them the best to bring Sarah back.
Please come back safely. All of you.
Do what must be done.
Make them pay for what they did to our friend.
We're all counting on you.
Let that creep know that no one messes with our friends and gets away with it. Give him one for me.
We'll bring her back. We promise.
Maria then approached her husband.
Please bring her home safe, Chester.
I will, Maria. I won't let you both down.
I know you won't. I have total faith in you that you will save our daughter. I'll be waiting for you two. Good luck.
With those words said, the three men left the mansion and set off to rescue Sarah. They got in Chester's Cadillac car and left the premises. While they were driving their way to Reginald's manor, they were devising a plan on how to save Sarah. Meanwhile, Reginald was getting his men prepared for Chester's arrival with the ransom money. He wanted one of his henchmen to stay with Sarah until the time is right. 40 minutes later, Chester, Jack, and Rio have finally arrived at Reginald's manor. One of Reginald's henchmen looked out the window and saw him getting out of the car with a briefcase in his hand.
He's here, sir.
Excellent. Then the time has come. Welcome our guest in.
Yes, sir.
Outside, Chester walked towards the main door with a briefcase in his left hand. One of the henchmen came to the door.
Mr. Edward has been expecting you.
Where is my daughter?
Don't worry. You'll see her soon enough. Follow me.
Fine.
Chester entered the manor and then followed the henchman to Reginald. Soon after, Jack and Rio followed right behind him. When they got inside, they went their separate ways in order to find Sarah quicker. Jack went left and Rio went right. They searched around the main floor to find out where they're keeping her, but they didn't find her anywhere. So they decided to head upstairs and search there. They saw Chester going upstairs, so they secretly followed him upstairs. But when they saw another one of Reginald's henchmen coming down, they hid themselves so they wouldn't be spotted. They waited for him to leave the area, but then Jack stomped his foot out of desperation, and the henchman walked towards the sound of that stomp. Rio didn't hesitate, so he came out of hiding and kicked the kidnapper in the face, knocking him to the ground.
Come on, Jack. We're almost there.
While they were heading upstairs, Jack said in his thoughts,
Hang on, Sarah. I'm here and I'm coming for you.
Chester and the henchman walked towards Reginald's room. They then entered the room, and from there, Chester saw Reginald sitting on his desk.
Reginald.
Welcome to my manor, Chester. So, what do you think?
Enough with the greetings already. Where is Sarah?
Reginald snapped his fingers, and another of his henchmen came in from another door, holding Sarah with a gun pointed at her head.
Sarah! Let her go now.
I'm afraid you're in no position to demand anything from me, Chester. Now where's the money?
With no other choice, Chester walked towards Reginald with the briefcase. He put the briefcase on his desk and showed him the $10 million that was inside. Reginald checked to make sure the whole ransom money was there. Chester then demanded,
There, you've got your money. Now, release my daughter.
Reginald chuckled evilly and responded,
No!
No? What do you mean, no? I gave you your money. Now I'll ask you one more time. Let Sarah go now.
You fool! I had no intention on releasing your daughter. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. The ransom was just a way to lure you here.
What do you want from me, Reginald?
Simple. I want you to know the true meaning of suffering.
What do you mean by that?
You had all the glory, all the attention, the recognition and appreciation. Everyone we worked with looked up to you and not me. That's my suffering. I want you to feel exactly how I felt back then. And now that you're finally here, how about we do that by killing your daughter?
He snapped his fingers and his henchman was going to shoot Sarah.
Don't shoot her! Please, Reginald. Please, she means everything to me.
Sarah was shedding tears, fearing her life was going to end.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to see. You wouldn't like it if your daughter was shot dead, would you?
Curse you, Reginald. So to you, my suffering is watching my family suffering in front of me. Is that it?
That's exactly it. All right, finish her.
He snapped his fingers again, and this time, the henchman was really going to kill Sarah. Chester then screamed, reaching out for his daughter.
No!
Then, from out of nowhere, Rio performed a sneak attack from behind, severely kicking the kidnapper in the back of the head.
What the?
Looks like we made it just in time.
Yeah, good timing, boys.
How did those two get in here?
Moments later, Jack grabbed Sarah, removing the cloth from her mouth.
I knew you would come and rescue me. I never lost faith in you, Jack.
And I wasn't gonna let anyone harm you, Sarah. And I really meant what I said.
You are one courageous man, Jack. Thank you for saving me.
Anytime, Sarah. Now let's get out of here.
Okay.
Jack unbound Sarah, and the two of them ran from the room.
No, I won't let my plan be ruined by a bunch of little brats.
Reginald pointed a gun at Jack and Sarah, but Rio quickly reacted and punched Reginald in the face, knocking him to the floor.
Don't you ever mess with my friends again, or you'll live to regret it. Oh, and don't worry about those other henchmen. We already took care of them on the way up.
Rio then ran towards Chester.
Come on, Mr. Morgan. Let's get out of here.
Rio then ran from the room too. Chester then grabbed his briefcase and walked towards Reginald lying on the ground. He then bent down on his knees and told him,
If you come near my family again, I'll make sure you deeply regret it.
Chester then left the room, and he and the others got in the car and left the manor. Reginald slowly got up from the floor and looked out the window only to see Chester escape with his daughter and her friends with him. He then exited his room and saw all of his henchmen lying on the ground unconscious. He then said in his thoughts,
This is far from over, Chester. Enjoy your victory today, because the next time we meet, you will not taste another one. Revenge will be mine, and you will learn the true meaning of suffering. Mark my words.
40 minutes later, Chester and the others made their way back to the Morgan mansion. They've entered the mansion where his wife and Jack's friends were still there.
Mr. Morgan, you're back!
Where's Sarah? Is she okay?
Chester moved to the side to let Jack walk inside the mansion carrying Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm back.
All of their friends cheered her name.
Sarah!
Jack puts her down, then the girls ran towards her, hugging her so tight.
We missed you so much.
We didn't know what was going to happen to you.
We're so glad you're okay.
I am now, thanks to these three.
Sarah looked towards Jack, Rio, and her father. Rio shook his head up and down, feeling grateful that she's back home, safe and sound. The girls then stood back to allow Maria to hug her daughter.
I was so worried about you. When your father told me what happened to you, I couldn't stop crying. All I could do was wait until you two returned home safely. And now that you both are, I feel blessed now. I'm just glad you're back home safe and sound, Sarah.
I'm glad to be back too, Mother. I missed you so much.
She then looked at her father.
I'm glad to have a wonderful father like you. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to have you back. You mean everything to us too, Sarah. And I'm glad to have a wonderful daughter like you as well.
Finally, she went towards Jack and given him a big thank you hug.
I can't thank you enough, Jack. Through thick and thin, despite the odds stacked against you, you never gave up. You put your life on the line to save my life. For that, I am forever grateful. How could I ever repay you?
With this.
He gave Sarah a 10-second kiss as everyone watched and happy to see that Jack and Sarah are reunited with one another again. He then started carrying Sarah to her room.
Being with you means more to me than anything in the whole world. All I want is to be with you, Sarah. Forever. I love you.
And I love you too. Thanks for saving me, Jack. You're my hero.
You're welcome, Sarah. I'll always be there for you.
Rio and the others also followed them upstairs to accompany them, leaving Chester and Maria in the main hall by themselves. They then kissed each other.
You're one brave man, Chester. And that's what I love about you.
I'll do whatever it takes to protect our family. Come on, let's go spend some time with our daughter.
Yeah, she needs her parents now more than ever.
With that said, Sarah's parents held each other's hands and walked upstairs. Chester then said in his thoughts,
Reginald might plan to come after us again next time. I'll make sure that he doesn't harm my family ever again.
With Sarah back home safe and sound, the Morgan family can now enjoy spending time with each other again, and Chester vows to protect those who mean everything to him, no matter what.